Hello, welcome pen friends, and Happy New Year. By the time you see this, it's likely that it's 2022. So in my last video, it was a new pen day, the Lamy 2000, and I did the preview of the pens, and I stuck very close to that, but I didn't have most of them inked up. So I'm going to let you know what the inks are, and we'll do writing sample. But then I also want to try to preserve a little time to talk about two pen and ink combinations that turned out really, really good for that November-December period where it was very busy, but I did have two pens in particular that I was excited about, you know, above and beyond the normal excitement. So in the Lamy 2000, with a broad nib, I have Pilot Iroshizuku Tsutsuji. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's a beautiful magenta. Okay, and then in the Trisby Eco Jade, I decided on DeAtramentis Mint Turquoise, which, oh gosh, yeah, the light's kind of blowing that out a little. I'm testing again. I've had samples before, and I think it's probably going to end up being a bottle because I kind of like how that is. So next up is the Sailor Compass with a fine medium nib. And I did put in this a dark purple. I chose the Diamine 150th anniversary Purple Dream that I have in a sample. So that's what's in that one. And then in the Mont Blanc 145, and I think this is like Meisterstück Classique is the rest of the name. I don't do too good with that. I have kind of permanently paired this pen with Sailor Grenade because I really love this ink in this pen. It's perfect. And I'll probably find a few other inks going forward that work good in it too, but this one I just can't get out of my mind. So then in the Platinum Century 3776 Nice, I have a blue-black Pilot Iroshizuku Shin. Now, this was a little bit of a kind of a difficulty for me because when I get this pen out, I worry about staining it. So I'm going to have to probably get over that, or maybe, you know, just do a little bit more thinking on that because I really wanted a brighter ink in it, but then I decided I chickened out. That's all there is to it. So then next up in the Opus 88 Demonstrator, I do have that Pilot Parrallel 3.0 nib in it. And I decided I wanted a nice bright blue. One of my favorites is Diamine Aqua Lagoon, so that's what I've got in there. And then this little baby, I predict this is going to be one of the best combinations of January. It's the Moonman Mini Wancia with a broad Goulet nib. I just purchased this one, so now I've got two of them with that nib size. And I put Vinta Makopa in it. I'm really, really excited. It's a beautiful kind of purple, bright, wow. It's just gorgeous, and it's got a green sheen that does different things on different papers. So that's going to be a fun month and a fun pen writing, you know, pen pal writing, which I'm catching up on, but I've got a lot to go. And then next up is the Opus 88 Halo in purple, and I did choose the Mont Blanc Psychedelic Purple for that, but I did change the nib unit to the 1.4 stub because I had a medium nib and it wasn't enough, it wasn't putting down enough ink for me for letter writing, so I decided to go with that. Okay, so I think what we'll do next, I'm going to let you glance at what I did in my ink journal, but then I've got another little journal that I can do some writing in, so we'll do that. Okay, so this is the currently inked, and this will be the kind of the record book. I'll be able to put my notes and the grade that I give it toward the end of the month, or we'll see whether I check in the middle. I'm not sure yet. So the Lamy 2000 with the Pilot ink, it's just gorgeous. It's going to be wonderful for letter writing. Let me hold that up a little. It's super juicy. It's almost like a really super polished stub nib. Like, it's just really broad, so there's no complaints coming from me. And then Next, the Trisby Eco Jade. Same thing. It's well, not same thing. It's like a whole different ballpark, but it's a nice broad nib, and it's real juicy with that DeAtramentis ink. Of course, the nibs are totally different. This is a gold nib, and this is not, and there is a width difference. Next up, the Sailor Compass. That's really, really pretty. It's super smooth, and even though that's much finer of a writing line.
It's 5 p.m.
5 p.m. I don't know why I can't avoid the times when it's going to announce. I love it. I'm wondering about going back and revisiting that little Sailor Lacool and using a different ink and seeing if it'll act the same. I don't think the nibs are exactly the same, but maybe they are. And then the Mont Blanc 145 with the medium nib and Sailor Gentle Grenade, that is a wonderful ink. I've already tried that many times. And then next up, I have that Platinum 3776 with this ink, and at first I thought something was going on with the pen, but then I found a place to, I found a place to write with it some more, and it was doing better. So I don't know, I may have taken too much ink off the feed when I was just sort of cleaning up the nib. There's no telling what I did. Especially today, because I had a lot of irons on the fire. So then next up is the Opus 88 with a Pilot Parrallel nib with Diamine Aqua Lagoon, and it's really juicy, so we'll get a chance to look at that in the notebook, to just try it out. And then it'll be real informal. Some of these that I already know I may skip over, but the Moonman Mini with the Vinta Makopa is just gorgeous. It's going to be super for letter writing. And then the Opus 88 Halo with the 1.4, it was just gliding along in my just initial trying it. So I can't wait to try that too. So, okay, we've got our ink tiles, because I like to kind of keep those handy, and we have a notebook. I think we'll just do a little bit of writing just to kind of, begin to test these a little bit more. So first up is the Lamy 2000. New pen. Whole new world for me. And I just love this. I'm really glad I went with a nice bright ink to start with. Well, I'm doing the ink first. Oh my goodness. I think I can save it. Okay, yeah, we'll just go right up here and do Lamy 2000. Broad nib. Oh gosh, it's just beautiful. Very juicy, and I just can't see this pen ever not being inked up. That's my early impression. So, oops, I was hoping I'd be able to kind of show you how wet that goes down, but I think our lighting might be kind of running away from us right now. It's that time of day. I'm having to use some extra lighting too, so the inks may be a little distorted. They kind of are, and I can't really get around it right at this particular point here. So next up, this is another new to me pen, the TWSBI Eco in Jade. I wasn't going to get this one, but when I got that gift certificate, the timing was perfect. I got a birthday gift certificate to Goulet, and I really did want it. And that's when you find out, because that was the first thing I thought of when I logged on to see, what I might get with my certificate. So at the same time, I remembered that I was out of my sample of the, sampling of this ink. I don't know why I didn't just get a bottle, but that's me for you, I guess. TWSBI Eco in a broad. Nice and juicy. And we've got DeAtramentis Mint turquoise. I don't really go too light with my greens. That may be why initially I wasn't sure about getting this pen, but I like the idea that the ink just coordinates with it. It doesn't have to match this the cap and the trim and everything, but I really like it. I finally got my bullet journal all set up and ready. I was thinking I'm gonna run out of time here. I wanted that full spread that I do for January done, and I decided to get that done before I did this video, because that bullet journal is like my my key to not completely being off track. You know, I stay a lot better on track with my bullet journal. Okay, then next up is the little sailor compass. I got this from Goulet pens too. And it's Diamine 150th Anniversary Purple Dream, which I had in a nice sample. And I really like this pen. This one and the Lacool are my first experience at all with Sailor. So just kind of getting to know, excuse me, the pen brand, and of course these nibs are very fine. It kind of remind me of the Pilot Metropolitan nibs. So we have Sailor, Compass. But I think this was a really good ink choice. It seems to be. So it's marked fine medium, I think. Well, that's what the box said. And it's a nice wet ink. $150th. Okay, I'm hoping this will work with my new little planner, and we'll get a glimpse of that here in a minute, because I might as well show you. I'm not really organized for a full video on it yet, but I want to eventually, because it's a new thing that I'm trying. It's a little faux Hobonichi is what I'm gonna do. And I'm just thinking that this may work for it. In fact, we interrupt this program to try that, because I really want to try it. So my pen friend Sharon gave me one of these. It's like a, it's the size of a Hobonichi Weeks, I think. And so I have it set up for 2022. I have my calendars all set up, but I'm not sure yet. Like, I've been doing pen tests, but I went a little crazy. I guess I can use on the back here. Sailor. It'd be really neat if this would right in here. Certain ones will, and certain ones will bleed through. So that's what we've been learning. This is an Amazon product. Let's see. Okay, I'm not sure. Oh no, okay, that's gonna bleed. Okay, that's all right. And like I said, I really will take my time to, I've decorated the cover with a sticker from the Fig and Bean Company. And it's just really fun. It's gonna be nice. I've just sort of the same, almost the same size, just a little thicker than what I normally use for a planner. So I'm just testing pens, and this one made me think of it, but the paper is not quite fully fountain pen friendly, but I have found some that have worked in it, so that'll be part of when I do that video, though. I probably should have waited, but that's okay. Sometimes you just have to check things out when you're thinking of it, I guess. Okay, so next up is the Mont Blanc. This was a gift from pen friend Wayne several years ago, back in 2018, and I was, you know, much newer then, and how exciting. I think this was my first gold nib, but I'm trying to think. I'm not positive on that. It was one of the first, if it wasn't the first. Okay, and I just love this combination. Oops. Well, you see, I didn't go writing a lot, but I'm expecting that this won't be a letter writer. This Sailor Compass, the one before. I'm expecting that'll be more of a note taker and Probably, definitely will do okay in my bullet journal because I'm using a heavier paper anyway. So even though I made that oversight, I'm not worried about it. I don't need to see that in a longer writing sample. And this one I don't either because I know it so well. Of course, I can do that just for the heck of it. Grenade. Oh, it's supposed to say gentle too. Gentle. And it's such a juicy combination in here. Not every ink seemed like it was really well suited for this pen. But I love this, so I have stuck with it. Whoops. Oh, God, that's like, my writing. Okay, maybe if I slowed down just a little. Okay, so next up is let's see how this behaves because it was giving me a time earlier. I don't quite know what was up. I really don't. It's most likely something I did, but so this is the Platinum 3776. This has a lot of name to it, but it's a Nice, and it's rose gold and Demonstrator. And like I said, I've been very paranoid about two things. One is staining it, and the other is that I cracked a section almost immediately upon getting the first, the pen last year. So it was replaced and everything under warranty, but I don't want that to happen again. So, okay, now here goes. And I'm not sure if I've made the right choice on the ink or not. Well, it's flowing a lot better right now, so who knows what was up. I mean, I didn't expect anything to be up with this. It's a broad nib, and it's pretty juicy. It's maybe not as juicy as some of my broad nibs, but it's really nice, and it's got just a little bit of... not flex, but softness, I guess. Yeah, I think things are going much better now. I'm just getting quite a bit better ink laying down at the moment, so that's good. I've had quite a day. I was mowing the lawn and I didn't actually hit the sewer cap, but I tapped it with my foot because it looked brittle. Now that was really brilliant. So anyway, some duct tape and a bowl over the top of it and so on later, and we'll be having to make a trip to the home goods store and get a new cap. Oh my goodness, it just got real brittle. But at the time that it happened, it was like the worst time to be on the road, and there's no way I'm going till tomorrow. So it's all covered and duct tape to the rescue. But, little things like that, like, okay, Chris, you saw that it was brittle, and then you had to tap it with your foot. Okay, so that's good. I'll continue to test that, though. I'm not sure exactly. Whoops, I got things out of order. Okay, and we will need a new page. Going good so far. This is the only one I have a question about right now, being such a slim line. But I know that in the right application, it'll be wonderful, so I think we can go ahead and turn that because I'm going to still need this. Oh, we're up to the parallel nib now. That's going to be great. The Diamine Aqua Lagoon with the Opus 88 Demonstrator. And the video I watched was Aziza's video. So if I can remember, I'll go ahead and link that for you on how to easily, you know, put your Pilot Parallel nib in here. You don't use the O-ring that comes with the Opus 88. You take that out. That's the only thing to really remember. Other than that, you just pull the Pilot Parallel nib out and of the parallel and put it into here. Just make sure you've already taken out the O-ring, because there won't be room. It'll just keep kind of popping back out, sort of like a slow motion on you if you try to put it in there with both the one that's on the parallel and the one that comes in the Opus. It won't work. So okay, so I'm still getting used to writing with these, but this is a favorite ink, a nice juicy ink, and an ink that just does all kinds of neat things. So I thought it would be great. Besides, when I think of January, I think of kind of like ice, and I think of this color blue, this beautiful like icy blue or something. So we got Opus. Oh, this is flowing beautifully. 88. I'm going to put Demonstrator. I have to practice. I really do. I keep saying that, but and I will, I'm sure, because I'm going to have a lot of ink. That's 3 mils of ink with a Pilot Parallel 3.0 nib. Wow, it's just wonderful. Oops. And Diamine Aqua Lagoon. This is one of my first bottles. It's almost gone. But I've used a lot and I've shared a lot. Whoops, that just looks horrible. Excuse the writing. Do a little bit of writing. Happy. I forget how to form my letters in, you know, the fancy type. But it's pretty forgiving. You can kind of go back over and fill in if you mess up. So this is one of the neatest tricks ever. I love it. Super cool. I mean, you can go forever with this ink, and in a pen like this that lays down so much ink, that's super like, oh my gosh. I gotta stop talking now or I'll start thinking about more pens. No more pens, Chris. Okay, so then next up is one I'm extremely excited about, like beyond the normal enthusiasm. Broad nib. Yeah, I picked that up and I said, is that a stub? That's not a stub. Oh, and I just love this ink. I love the base color, but I also love what that green sheen does. And every ink I use it on, like my CVS caliber paper, it's a whole different ball game. So it's really fun. Moonman Mini Wancia with a broad number 5 Goulet nib. That Goulet place with all those nibs, to me that'd be just like a chocolate factory. I'd like to be able to go and just get whatever I wanted. With Vinta Makopa. That is a super nice wet ink. How come I'm not able to prove it? Just the lighting, I guess. You can see it, but it's hard for me because I'm looking over the top of reading glasses. Yeah, this will get me right to my pen desk even faster because I'll want to write letters with this. Awesome. Really nice. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Solferino, but it's got extra jazzy sheen going on. So, and when you take this ink and splash it on Tomoe River paper or even on CVS Caliber, I had a little splatter over by the sink and it was the most beautiful thing. I should go get it. Let me go get it. Okay, well, it was just right here. It may be a little hard to show, but it was just so pretty. In fact, you almost lost the base color there. It just says green, and I was like, when did I use green ink? But there it was. Anyway, really, really pretty. So, okay, we have one more pen in the January lineup here, and then we're going to talk about the two that I really had fun with over, like, December. So this is the new pen. There was a Pen Friend gift from Pen Friend MB, and I'm loving it. It's a super nice Opus 88 halo with that purple section. And of course, I've got the nib units now because of the other one, the Coloro, and they're interchangeable. So I've got the stub nib on here, and it just love it. It actually isn't going to give me as much worry about staining, I think, because of this section being purple already, really. Because some of the inks I love the most are stainers, and so that is a consideration for me. I don't like stained sections. I guess I have to bump up my pen cleaning ability or whatever, but who has time for extra special pen cleaning? Too busy writing. Opus 88 Halo. Now this pen I'll do a preview on. It's a Lennon Toolbar collaboration, but I have a lot to learn still. And this is 1.4 stub that I got, and you know, it's branded Opus 88, but I think it's a Yowo nib, and it's really smooth. So, and we've got Mont Blanc. I need to hold still and hold it right. Do I have cat hair? I may have, because I kind of smeared there. Psychedelic purple. Nice vibrant ink. Super juicy nib. It's going to be a lot of fun, I can tell. Let's see if I can get that up there. Okay. Super, super. I can just tell this is going to be a really fun writing month, and it'll give me an intense chance to really work with these 8, and I've got a few that still need to be finished, but not very many. So that leads me to my final thing. I really wanted to tell you that these 2 pens were really something, really worked out great. So this is the Wingsung 3008. Looks like I splashed it around a little bit, with a Lamy fine nib on it. And I've had it inked since November, and it was full, and it's finally on its last couple drops. But this has just been fantastic. It's got in it Kobe number 41 Suma Riku Rose. And what I found was that it was just super on the CVS Caliber paper. So this is a smaller, I guess I could, yeah, let me just use this. This is a smaller notebook than I'm using in the morning when I take my notes, but it goes onto this paper without losing a lot of its zing and color, and it also stays nice and juicy on this paper, which is not always the case. And I just love it. Like, let's see, we could do like a quick water. Oh, it's not going to be really pretty, but okay. 20. Because I hadn't really drawn it out or thought about how I was going to do it. 2022. Oh my, every 2 is going to be unique to itself. This is what I've been enjoying, especially with this, is that it just is really fun with the water brush. So it's got a lot of See, it picks it up. It's not shy about picking that up, and then it dries really pretty too. So I've been using, like, in my notes, I'll highlight or I'll make a box around what I've just written that I really want to come back to and visually, you know, remember it, and use the water brush with it. And so it ends up looking more pink, maybe a little lighter in the middle than the magenta. But that has been such a fill. And these pens are like, I don't know, at the time I got it, it was like under $4. And then I have Lamy nibs anyway now, so it's just here. And, you know, rotating nibs and pens and all that is so much fun. I just find that that it lays down even more ink than a Lamy will with a Lamy fine nib. And then you got that extra ink capacity. So this is one of my favorite pens. And you know, it definitely is a very cheap Chinese pen with a piston, and it's easy to take apart. You could completely take it apart. Anyway, I've said that on other occasions. This is the other little pen, which I'm afraid I'm going to run out of time for. I couldn't find the ink tile, but the ink that I have in it is the Pilot Iroshizuku Georgian 100th anniversary, and I'm amazed. I mean, I've let this pen kind of sit around a little bit too. This week's been really busy, but every time I pick it up, it's ready to go. It's Filco. I'm not really sure how you say it. It's an Italian pen. It's a fine nib, but gosh, it's just a smooth nib right out of the get-go. And of course, that's really good ink. That's the Pilot. My pen friend Karen sent me the sample of this one, I think. So this is Pilot Iroshizuku. I can already hear fireworks. And it's, well, it's just past 5. Georgian. This is a 100th anniversary ink. It dries a lot lighter than it goes on. See, like, you can see how much darker it looks when you first put it on. But this little pen, it's got a cartridge, a little cartridge in it. Ooh, I'm running it right down too. Good, that's really good. But I can't see having that not inked because I just want to keep picking it up. I love putting it on the little crab on my desk. And Coco likes it too, but I've tried to sort of disguise him and push him back so that he won't get after it. But anyway, this was a pen friend gift from my pen friend FD, and thank you very much. What a interesting little pen. So those were the 2 highlight pens, like sort of a report card. I don't really have time, I don't think, to go into the whole report card, but we can glance at it quickly. I'm hoping that this will be able to be uploaded. I've kind of gone nuts here. Okay, so it's in November was the last time that I had actually written it down. And this was the pen I just showed you. That was my very favorite, was the Wingsung 3008. Just, you know, continuously writing with it every day and really loving the color, the everything, just the capacity of it and the way it puts down so much ink. Now, the Opus 88 Demonstrator, the Stylo and Style ones, the one from Italy, that's great too. That's really great. It's still got ink in it. And I also gave TWSBI Go with clear with the Lamy Vibrant Pink an A. I had a couple of things to work out, like the Sailor Le Cool. I said it was incomplete. I really wasn't finished looking into that. The Lamy Safari with Amethyst de Laurel was just a good thumbs up note taker. And then some that weren't quite as, like the Nemesine Singularity did better with Sailor 50 States, Texas. So that's just a recent memory. The nib did better with that ink. Okay, but that's really all I have time for. I'm afraid we're going to end up, you know, I'm hoping this will be good and ready for you to see. And then I'll do a follow-up later. And I'm excited about the new year and the pens to try and lots of things. So I hope you are too, and I hope this hobby is as much of a blessing to you as it is to me. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Oh, let me hear from you in the comments. I'd just love to hear what you're inking up, what pens and inks you're using, and anything you want to say. Thank you. Bye for now.